Hi everyone, I'm Tanaz from Forever Conscious, and this is your Oracle card reading for the month of October. So I want you to set the intention that you will be drawn to the card that holds the message that you need to hear for the month of October. Maybe you can repeat to yourself, may I be drawn to the card that is perfect for me for the month of October. And I'm going to set the same intention for you as I shuffle the cards. Okay. So with your intention set, I am going to pull 3 cards. I will show them to you, 1, 2, and 3, and then just using your intuition, go with your instinct, pick which card, 1, 2, or 3, resonates the most for you. Okay, so this is card number 1, card number 2, card number 3. Okay, so just pick 1, 2, or 3. Okay, so card number 1, change is coming. This card is about the winds of change entering your life. Change is on the way, and that's what this card is telling you. There's some sort of change coming. In the meantime, however, before this change can come, our lives might feel a little up and down, a little confusing, a little chaotic. Maybe we don't know which direction to turn. Maybe we're juggling many balls in the air and we don't yet know where they're going to land. And that is sort of the energy that you might be working with through the month of October. But this card comes to assure you that beautiful, positive change is on the way. You're just in that in-between state. The old is here, the new is here, and you are in between. And that is why things feel a little bit all over the place. You need to give things time. You need to allow the dust to settle. You need to be okay with not having it all figured out. You need to be okay with things being a little open-ended. The time will come where you'll be able to wrap up all the little ends with nice little bows, but that is not this time for you. The time now is to be okay and to find acceptance and groundedness in this state of upheaval, in this state of flux, in this state of the winds of change. They're moving through you, they're moving through the house, and you just have to learn to find your groundedness and to trust that on the other side of this, there is something beautiful. There is some new, wonderful opportunity. You are just transitioning from this old state to this new state of being. So, change is on the way. It's something beautiful. Things are going to feel a little confusing and chaotic in the meantime. One thing that you can do to help is to ground yourself, to try to go with the flow. This is not a time to try to fight the flow. This is a time to sort of surrender and go with the flow, and then to do things that help you to feel grounded. If you're feeling confused or indecisive about some decisions that you have to make, try focusing on the things that you do know. When people say, like, what do you want? And you're like, I don't know what I want. Well, another question you can ask them is, well, what don't you want? Because sometimes by looking at it from that other point of view, we can start to piece together more of what we want. And so if you're feeling confused about one path, if you're feeling confused about what decision to make or what action to make, try to look at it from a different point of view. Try to focus on the things that you do feel sure and confident and clear about, because that will also help you to feel a little bit more grounded. But beautiful opportunities are coming. There's just a little bit of influx, winds of change moving through. They will pass like all things. Okay, card number 2 is emotional balance. This card signals that you need to find a way to balance your emotions. Maybe you have felt up and down. Maybe you have felt a little bit all over the place. Maybe your emotions have been a little overwhelming. This card calls for you to find emotional balance, to get a little bit more in harmony with a state of acceptance, with a state of peace. Now, of course, that is so easy for me to say. It is much, much harder to do. I too struggle with anxiety and feeling stressed and feeling sensitive and feeling overly emotional and picking up the emotions of the world. One thing that really helps for me, and the one message I feel like this card is and why you drew it to you, is protecting your energy. And part of that is setting healthy boundaries with others and with things that you say yes to. And the other part of it is protecting your energetic field. If you imagine that we have an aura around us, an aura of energy around us, which is so connected to our emotions. Our emotions come from the energy center of our heart, and this is sort of the center point of our energy field. So cleansing our energy through smudge sticks, crystals, essential oils, taking a nice bath, even just taking our hand and, cleaning our auric field like this, setting the intention and just moving around our body like this as if your hand is a broom, can be very cleansing, restorative, and can help us to feel a little bit more balanced. Having a regular daily practice like journaling, meditation is also absolutely a must for helping to stay sort of in a more balanced emotional state. So if you're feeling that your emotions have been a little bit all over the place, maybe a little bit low, maybe you're sort of in a slump of anxiety or stress or tension, this card is asking you to take a few actions, simple actions, to start taking care of yourself, to start, checking in with those emotions. Sometimes I also find that identifying how I feel helps the emotion to have less control over me. So just simply asking myself, how do I feel? I'll get like this anxious feeling, and I'll ask it, why? What am I really feeling? And sometimes when I go through and I list a couple of words, I'm feeling like this, I'm feeling like this, I do feel the anxiety dissipate. It's obviously not going to cure everything, but it does help. And having a little toolbox that you can look in and go to when your emotions are feeling overwhelming is really going to help you. And that is what this card is asking you to do. Also, there is no shame in reaching out for help, speaking to a therapist, speaking to a counselor. So if that's what you feel you need to do, even if you want to see a healer or Reiki person or hypnotherapist, there's no limit. Reach out and do that as well. But this card is asking you to keep your emotions nice and balanced. You're going to need a little emotional support to move through this month, so make sure you're giving that to yourself. Card number 3 is Speak Your Truth. So this card is, of course, about speaking your truth, not being afraid to stand up and say no or say yes or confront somebody or, say something that you've wanted to say. Hey, I have an idea. Hey, I want to introduce myself. It's about standing up and finding the confidence to speak. This card also indicates that there may be some healing that is needed around the throat chakra area. Speaking our truth is not just about standing up for ourselves, it's also just about being able to communicate freely without feeling stifled or afraid or lacking that confidence. So, maybe doing some throat chakra exercises, singing, using blue crystals, things like that. You can Google throat chakra meditation, doing things to help open and support this energy center of the body will be very beneficial for the month of October. If you do have to confront somebody, maybe this card has been drawn to you and you're like, oh yeah, kind of need to confront someone. Try first writing a letter, getting it all out on paper. I personally find this to be very, very therapeutic. You say everything you want to say. Don't censor yourself. Just get it all out on paper. And then instead of sending it, you rip it up and you burn it as sort of a symbol of letting it go. And then I find when you do end up having to have that conversation with the person, you've kind of got out your own anger, your own junk, your own triggers. You've kind of already done all that, and you're able to kind of focus on the core issues at hand and the sort of healing part of it rather than getting fixated on the blame part of it. So that might be a helpful strategy for you to use this month as well. Even just journaling in general can be wonderful for the throat chakra, for helping heal the throat chakra, but also for getting in touch with your truth. There's something about just putting pen to paper that can be very helpful with that. So don't be afraid to stand up and speak your truth this month. Don't be afraid to set boundaries with other people or with situations in your life. If that's what you feel called to do, you are being asked to sort of stand in your truth and to speak up. And this card can also be a sign that if you've had an idea that you want to execute, or something you want to put out into the world, it can be a wonderful time to bring that truth and share it with others and share it with the world. Maybe it's a creative project or a blog or a book, any sort of form of self-expression. This card is a wonderful positive sign for that as well. So I hope you found your message helpful. I hope it helped to bring some understanding and some positive action into your month of October. You can find more helpful spiritual, cosmic, astrology, numerology type articles on my website, foreverconscious.com. Please join me there. I am Tanaz. Thank you so much, and I wish you all a wonderful month of October.